Hello, Gaz Williams here for Sonic Lab. We are looking at the amazing app coming from Endless FM. Now, this is Tim Exile's kind of project. He's working on it with a bunch of other people, and it's not quite ready yet. We're just kind of showing like a little work in progress kind of thing, because it is so amazing and I'm having so much fun with it. We just thought it'd be quite cool because it's going to be out this year, maybe in a few months' time. It's all a little bit vague, but the beta is available now. And in the notes below, there is an invite there to join a Sonic State Jam. So if you do want to get involved, then click the link. If too many people sign up, there'll come a point where it can't take any more. But grab it while you can. Anyway, what on earth is this thing? Well, what it is it's a means to be able to jam using. At the moment, it's just iOS. They do say that Android and desktop versions hopefully will come along. At the moment, they're just trying to get it out the door on iOS for the moment. So what I'm going to show you is what on earth is going on. Now, if we look at the screen here, we can see all these what look like flowers. Now, what these flowers actually are kind of waveforms that are in a circle. It sort of makes sense the more you use it. But if we go back to the beginning of the jam, there's 3 people in the jam. We've got myself, we've got Mylar Melodies, and we've got Tim Exile. So it's a pretty cool jam. Tim got it started. Let's have a listen.
Hola, 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 hola.
And then what happens now? Mylar comes in. No, Tim's totally taking it off piece there. It's back to Mylar. Back to Tim. I'm going to explain how it works in a moment. Let's just go through the jam. Now I come in with my bass line. So Tim's chopping up the bass line there. Ooh, getting a bit of effects on there now. So you can see that the jam keeps developing. Now, let's just jump to the end. This is where it currently is. The little T on there is going, this is what Tim has done. Now, what we'll probably see is new jams are going to... oh, Mylar's just jumped in. Let's see what he's done. And now, let's jump forward. Tim. So I better put something on. So basically, if I go to the home here, I could choose drums, and I could play a drum line in. Bring this over a little bit. Oops, I messed up there. That clap. So now we can see this little G appeared, and I've just added that little clappy part on to the jam. So if we come back here, I could also choose, like if I went to notes, I can pick from these presets here. The key is all gone a bit wayward, but there we go. Oh, Mylar's remixed one of my riffs. Tim Exile's, you'll get little notifications coming up then. This is retrospective loop recorder, so you only press after you've recorded the bit. So you don't have to cue it, and it'll automatically truncate the loop. So now let's see what happens next. Now I've put that little part down. Let's see what the guys are going to do. Now, the tempo 4/4 120 and the key C minor. we can go into the settings and we can set those things here. Also, disabled at the moment is Ableton Link, so you could actually have it synchronized in with your setup. I'm just going to stop the jam for a moment. Just to explain one thing, I've got a little kind of clagnut coming out here, coming into the audio fuse, the Arturia audio fuse, which I'm using as an audio interface. I've got the bass plugged into that, and we've got the sound coming out that you're hearing there. And but you could just be using just your iPhone, and if you had headphones in, you could just be, you could sing into the microphone, or you could hold the microphone up, the phone up close to an amplifier maybe, or you can use the built-in sound, so you don't actually need to have anything connected in there at all. Oh, now let's see what's happened since just in the time that I've stopped and pressed talking. Let's see what's happened now. Okay, another one's just arrived. This is going to Tim, with a T for Tim. So I'll put something like that down. Come here. House, microphone. Right. Now. So the way it's working with the loop there is these four, this is the more advanced looper. I can toggle that in the setting here from simple or to even loops. And the way it's working is if I touch in the first here, it'll just loop whatever the last bar that it just heard was. If I touch the next one, whatever the last 2 bars were, or the furthest, 3 bars, or 4 bars or 8 bars. Oh, Mylar's back. Mylar's back. Let's see what's going on. Oh, Tim's done something. So there is one extra element here when I come back to the home. If you go to the effects, now this is actually really, really cool. What you've got available to you in the effects is a bunch of different effects from, and these work a little bit like Chaos pads here. We've got like low pass filters and the like, if I play it. And what will happen is if I actually just loop it, that'll then create a little audio file of this affected part. Look. Just a one bar loop there. Oh, right. So so look at this. I mean, now one of the super cool things about this is that I can jump back in time. I could go right back to an early one. Back down here, for instance, or so let's go back here. House, mic. So now I've gone back to an early jam, and now that, like, this bit here is called the riff journal, and we can see that 10th of April 2019, today's date. If we came back to the next day, then the jam session would be sort of, you'd scroll through it as though you're scrolling through like a diary. Oh, new riff. So there you see, this is one thing that's quite cool. If I come back to the effects, one of the things is Keymasher. And those of you familiar with Tim Exile's kind of crazy apps that he's released so far, this is like a little kind of subset of the sort of things you might expect from him, like things that you might have seen on the finger, for instance, Native Instruments. Let's see what we can do. Pitch reset, pitch up, pitch up, pitch up, pitch up, pitch reset. Stutter. And what's cool is if I go select layers, here we can choose what layers the effect is going to happen. So if we wanted to, we could just apply the effect to sort of one of the layers or all of the layers. So if I say all loops, this is going to act like a kind of like a global effect. Let's try and do something cool. So that's what the poor guys are going to be getting on their end now. So you can see, look at all of this as it's just, we've been jamming for the last sort of 20 minutes or so. This is the first time that I've actually seen a jam kind of piece of software work in such a kind of fluid way. I'm going to cut. Right, so any of these loops we can go to, like that one as an example. I could hit this, and now it's going to let me export out the layers, all of the layers. And when I say all of the layers, a loop could consist of a maximum of 8 layers, and I'll show you that now. So take this loop, for instance. If I hit this control here, we can see the 8 loops, and I can mute them and take them out. So I've just got that affected bass sound there. And I can change the volume. So there's not an awful lot you can do, essentially mute or volume change. So I've just picked those 3 out of that old loop. If I hit riff, now I've just created another loop now based on an old one, based on a new little submix. This is what Tim's doing. So you can see we're getting absolutely loads of different variations and different kind of parts kind of leaping up. It's quite mind-boggling, really. Again, I should mention this is beta software. The interface is going to change, so what you're seeing now might not make it to the or it might not look exactly the same as this in the final thing. I should mention what will be coming, and it's almost like the missing component now, is a sort of chat element built into the app, ways to favourite or to put comments on particular loops. That is coming, and I think that will be an essential part of the process, because at the moment, like if I liked that one, it's a bit manic, but I'd like to be able to single it out. I mean, yes, I could bounce that out, and you can bounce any out in its current state, but it's going to be a really interesting piece of software to see how this develops. I mean, I hope you can see just from this little kind of jam already how much fun it is, and just how interesting idea that it is. I've never seen anything quite like it. I mean, it's fairly limited in some respects in terms of how much mixability or whatever. I mean, I can imagine there is room for growth there, but I think the simplicity of it is probably quite necessary to get lots of people jamming. So, as I mentioned at the top of this little feature, I said that we've created a Sonic State Jam. Now, this is an open jam, a public jam, so anyone can join in this jam. So the link below, join in, join in the beta, try it out, because it's so much fun. I hope you can see that, or just, this is it really is a curious proposition of where this kind of technology is going to go to in the future. So I think we'll probably wrap it there. Let's just see what the end of our jam sounds like. Ooh, we're in a dark sort of techno space now. Nice. Oh, hang on, and Tim. He's just popped in a little extra edit on there. Okay, so I've been Gaz Williams on this Sonic Lab kind of curiosity issue, really, just checking out the current state of Endless. And again, an invite to join this public Sonic State Jam on Endless. Okay, that's it for now. Thanks so much. See you next time.